just want to thank our sponsors for today, and today's sponsor is Tech, the Executive Connection. I've been associated with Tech for many years. I've been both a member and a facilitator, a Tech chair. Tech is all about better decisions and better leaders. I think from my experience, the leadership and the learnings and the experience of the leaders of these groups have made a very big difference, a huge difference in my business life. And I think that if you contact them on www.tech.com.au, you can connect with Tech, the organisation, and I think it would be in your interests. So thank you, Tech. Welcome back to the conversation that I'm having with Lance Stringer, Eden Hills and Lawnswood Pet Crematorium. So Lance, if we talk about successes, how do you rate success? What are some of the successes you've had?
Success is it's a very complicated question. So I'm not a big fan of rating success just in terms of numbers and money and things like that. To me, success is feeling good about what we've achieved. So you've got to feel good inside, and for me, that's measured by the customer satisfaction primarily. These days in the age of social media, that's very real time, and so I can see the sorts of emotions our customers are feeling having used our service. So to date, that's been really positive. Really love seeing the feedback. Obviously, you've got to take any negative feedback very seriously too, and that's one of our core values, to jump on that and deal with it. So I feel that from a customer point of view, we've been quite successful. Also, how our staff...
How do you measure that? How do you measure success with being successful, having customer relationships?
Yeah, I guess the amount of the ratio of complaints to compliments is probably the easiest way to do that.
That's a great...
And so you want to have a minuscule amount of complaints and a massive amount of compliments. So, if we do achieve that, so it feels fantastic. But once again, you can't be complacent. Just because you've achieved that yesterday doesn't mean you're going to achieve it tomorrow. So we have to be vigilant. And I see myself in my role now as managing director. I'm the customer advocate. So it's my job to be the advocate on behalf of the customer with all the behind the scenes, things that go on. So I look for problems before there's problems. But in terms of success, it's how our staff feel about where they work. Are they proud of the brand that they work for? Do they wear the uniform with pride? How much passion do they have? And I'm pleased to say that I do see that really shine through every day. And then there's how does success look for our family? And for me, that's do I have to work weekends? Does my phone ring off the hook till 9 o'clock at night like it used to? Well, the answer is no. We've got things organised now so that I can have a reasonably stable working day. It's not to say I don't work some long hours and some big weeks sometimes, but I can average it out to where I can go to the odd school function and things like that. I can go and watch the boys play footy or basketball. So for me, that feels like success.
It's great. So there's a measure of success. Some people say it is the dollars. You've been very quick to say it's not always the numbers, but you do need the numbers because you've got to keep the business going.
You've got to be sustainable with what you're doing, and you've got to feel good about what you're doing in your working life. Dad became a bit resentful towards the end of his career because he worked out he was working for $6 an hour, and so that wasn't great for him, and it wasn't a great outcome for the clients either. So I've been conscious that you have to price sensibly, but that doesn't mean that you price gouge. I'm very conscious of that. Even if you're in a position where you could extract an extra margin, I don't believe that's necessarily a great idea. I think that it just invites trouble. It invites new competition. It invites cowboys to come into whatever industry you're in. So I think if you just keep fair and sustainable pricing in whatever industry you're in, I think that's a really sustainable business model.
There are products that you have to supply to people.
Yeah.
Okay, so assuming there's going to be ashes that you're going to, being a crematorium, that you're going to be presenting to the client, the end user. Where do you go to get this stuff, and how does that fit into the success
Yeah.
of the business?
So we once again, as you know, we're the type of industry that we're in. Our customers expect a very low entry point to be able to access a service like ours. They don't want to spend heaps and heaps of money on an earn. So we need to source that from wherever we can find affordable, reasonable quality things. Obviously, that's overseas these days. Most stuff comes out of China or India or somewhere like that. But also, we do try to support Australian businesses where we can, and usually that's in the premium side of things. So, we have a local fellow that makes, hand carved jarrah boxes and things like that, urns, keepsake jewellery, things like that. So, they're your more sort of niche products. But there's more and more demand for that these days.
It's a very interesting, diverse business that it's become. Are there differences in the different states that you're operating in? Have you noticed big differences?
Not massive differences, but we do notice different tastes, and I think that's it's to a degree. It's what people have been used to receiving over the years. So certain urns and boxes are better received, for example, in Victoria than Western Australia and so forth. But by and by, pet lovers are the same Australia over. They just want to say goodbye in a really positive way to their best mate.
So is it predominantly dogs or cats or?
Yeah, mostly dogs, and then cats, and then but we are finding that the pocket pets are becoming a more
Pocket pets?
Yeah,
I've never heard the term.
Yeah, so any pet that's small enough to fit in your pocket, so budgies and ferrets and all sorts of things. Yeah, there's quite an increasing variety of pets these days. It's not just the good old Labrador or the Moggy cat.
My goodness, that wouldn't even cross my mind. So you're measuring your customer service. How do you measure your staff for success?
That's a good question. I probably do that informally, and you just sense whether they're invested in what they're doing. You see their work ethic. You see the way they interact with the clients, be that on the phone or in person. One of the things that I'm proud of is an incentive program that we developed, and it's very different to incentive programs in other industries where you might incentivise people based on sales performance or production figures or something like that, whereas we do it on customer thank yous. So for every customer thank you that we receive back, that's specifically just to say thanks, you guys did an awesome job, we actually, my wife and I put an hour into a pool, and at the end of the year, we count up those number of extra hours, and then we split that amongst the entire staff, and they get that added to their wages for the month of December, and that helps them with their Christmas shopping for their family and things like that. So that's our Christmas bonus, but it's linked to customer satisfaction. So
that's a really novel way of counting thank yous. Do the staff elicit thank you letters?
No, that's one of the things that I did put in the fine print at the start, was that if they get caught soliciting thank yous, that their bonus will be cancelled for the year, and if they get if there's 2 instances within the same year, then everyone gets cancelled. So everyone's pretty motivated to make sure they do the right thing, because the last thing we want to do is make our customers feel uncomfortable.
And that runs similarly in each state for each operation, so it's the same.
Every operation, and that's something that I'm very sensitive to, and I get put offside quite quickly at other businesses if they try and solicit me to give them a 5-star Google review, and quite often before I've even finished using the service, and it really grates me. So I think that's something that all businesses need to be wary of.
I think that's a measure of your success, that you have such high standards. I think really, from a motivational point of view, motivated to be successful, what is it that's the biggest motivation?
I think this massive sense of obligation to the client, or to a vet that's referred a client to us. We've really got to do the right thing by them. They've put in a lot of trust in us. We put our statements on our websites and brochures that we commit to help that client, and we've actually got our family photo on our website saying, this is who we are, this is what we're about. So we really put our name and our face to the brand, if you like. So I've got this, very strong sense we've got to do the right thing. So that's my primary motivation, I guess, followed by an obligation to my staff to provide them with a great, safe working environment, and that we've got to, behind the scenes, act the way that we say that we act outwardly. So it's no good putting on a song and a dance, to the public, and then you behave differently behind the scenes. And then I'm sure that if we did that, our staff would go home pretty demotivated. So I've got to, make sure we're doing the right thing there. And then the third motivation is, of course, our family, and we've got to do the right thing so we can be proud of what we do.
That's great. Thanks very much, Lance. We're going to go to another break, so we'll see you back here shortly.